Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem and here is the news. 643 days less the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Politico has chosen President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky as the most influential person in Europe in the Dreamers category, reports Ukrainska Pravda. The publication has listed the individuals who will have the biggest impact on the course of events in 2024. Politico reported that this year Zelensky has managed to push through things that were until recently unthinkable, moving Ukraine to the front of the line for EU membership and closer than everyone thought possible to the NATO military alliance. But 2024 is promising to be difficult because the world is distracted by the new old war in the Middle East. Ukrainians are exhausted by 2 years of battles and struggling to reclaim territory in the face of Russia's brutal meat grinder. With the West distracted and Ukraine continuing to face an existential threat from its much larger neighbor, Zelensky has moved from pleading with Western countries for help to lecturing them. And that hasn't landed quite as successfully as his more uplifting orations. The article also mentions the prospect of elections in Ukraine in 2024, stating that Zelensky would need to amend the country's constitution in order to hold a ballot. Politico claims that this possibility raises major questions about democratic legitimacy. Andriy Yermak, head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, was included in the ranking in the category of doers under number 4. Yermak himself was called the Green Cardinal of Ukraine, considering the influence he has and the role he plays in foreign relations of the country. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In his evening video address, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky informed that he held a special, lengthy and detailed meeting of the staff. The participants discussed the fortification of Ukraine's positions. According to Zelensky, finances are available and decisions are in place. There was also analysis of recent attacks against Ukraine, missiles and massive drone strikes. Quote, "We analyzed the tactics of our air defense. There is a clear need to develop and reinforce our mobile firing groups as well as to get all highly effective air defense systems. We separately reviewed the work of Patriots and NASAMS. Everything is highly effective. And I'm grateful to the partners who assist us specifically with these systems." Unquote. There were reports from commanders on all fronts. Special attention was paid to the Donetsk directions, Avdiivka, Marinka and the Bakhmut area. Over the last 24 hours, the most intense hostilities were observed there. Mariana Budanova, the wife of Kyrylo Budanov, chief of Ukraine's defense intelligence, has been poisoned with heavy metals, reports BBC News Ukraine. She survived and is already finishing her treatment. According to the defense intelligence spokesperson Andriy Yusov, several intelligence workers have the same symptoms, but they are much larger men and these symptoms are not as harsh. Media sources suggest that they all were poisoned via food, reports Babel. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We're a commercial initiative of just 2 people and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.